about him. Technology, huh? Yes. Okay. Sound. In the past, they would have said operator. That's what we would have said. I remember when you had to lose you at multimedia to the new CEO of the telecom chamber. It was a tough one because Kweku was difficult to replace. He's such a consummate professional. Over the past 6 years, you have blazed the trail, built a great organization which is lean but effective, works as a machine but still operates as a family. The greatness of a leader is to have the team still perform when you move on. Derek, Alena, Reynolds, Agnes, David, Francis, Samuel have held the fort and performed so creditably during the transition.
I will not dwell on our surmountable family disagreements with the MCA or the ministry over technical measurements because I believe we will find common ground because we must. The teeth and the tongue have no alternative but to accept to be housed, co-located inside the same little enclosure.
Kweku was a leader amongst equals. He treated all of us as equals. Whenever he gave an assignment, he would share his idea and would never tell you what to do to get the assignment done. Kweku recognized that you might always come up with a better idea than his. But as simple as that may sound, I realized that is the best way to lead. He led in a way that brought out the best in people. If he had just told us what to do, he would have gotten his idea across, but he wouldn't have brought out the best in us.
You don't require that sort of capital to import flip-flops from China. Second, you must compare the return on investment in telecoms in Ghana to the same industry.
Over 5 years ago, mobile operators decided they wanted to go together so that they could go far. So they operationalized the chamber. But what's really relevant is the phenomenal growth that the industry has seen over the last 5 years and how working together has helped to make that happen.
I have always admired his shadow right from the days of Kweku 101. So for me, it was a privilege and honor to work with him. The few months that I worked with him was amazing. I'll describe Kweku as an amazing boss. He's a listener and hands-on. Kweku, I wish you the very best in your new role as the board chairman of NCA. And I believe you are going to do tremendous work over there.
I've worked with Mr. Kweku Chiado for past 6 years. I enjoy working with him. I wish him all the best in his new role.
Tower companies, no. Towers now, Emma, communication, who send the message, echo, who send the video, echo, who send the cigar, echo. That towers, no. And who, the papa, say mobile phone, no. And they know the boy, and my mobile phone, no.
Kweku was not a boss, he was a star. He was a role model, he was a brother, he was an uncle, and he was a father to me personally. And the last 6 years marking my move to join him start the chamber will remain one of the special rights in my corporate life. God bless you, sir.
We love these engagements, these forums, these platforms, because we learn about each other. We discover, even as operators, what we can do better for the benefit of consumers. And when consumers thrive, when they do well, so do we, so do our government, so does the entire ecosystem.
Money have something to show for it, whilst growing our economy, empowering our people, and impacting their lives. I thank you.
will celebrate your legacy.
Really pleasant surprise and extremely kind of you to put this together in my honor. Little meek me. First of all, I can't recognize everybody, I can't see everybody, but I think I must recognize a few people. Lieutenant General Obed Aqua, Chief of Defense Staff, who is a wonderful man, and I'm actually surprised that you make the time, left the troops to join us here. Thank you very much. The Honorable Deputy Minister for Communications, George Anda, thank you so much for making the time here this evening. My old friend, Mrs. Ellie Ohene, formerly of the Bank of Ghana, played a wonderful role working with us to make inputs in the development of a framework for mobile financial services. It's wonderful to see you. It's been more than a year and you look 10 years younger. It's wonderful to see you, Ellie. So let me go back 6 years and a bit, about 6.5 years. It was a Friday in April and I'm driving down the motorway heading home in the evening, and I received a call. At the time I was General Manager in charge of communications at Aquafitens Rand, which was the Dutch South African company that had been contracted to manage Ghana Water and was approaching the end of its 5 years, and I was wondering what to do next. I had the option to remain with the company, with Ghana Water Company, or to leave with the with Aquafitens Rand, and we were trying to see if the contract will be extended for another couple of years. It wasn't looking good. So my phone rings and I don't recognize who he was. And the gentleman reminds me that we had met at church and he was running an HR consultancy and he'd been asked to hire a CEO for a new institution, the Chamber of Telecommunications, and that my name had come up. And so he was asking whether I'd be interested, and I thought, why me? Telecommunications, what do I know? And I thought, is this one of these farces, charades, where they already have a candidate and they want to dress up the process and use me as a prop to make it look transparent and well governed? But I thought, what the H? It's a yes, I will submit my CV. So I did submit my CV, and the rest is the future. So we had to start from scratch. All I found was this place, which I was shown by Sylvia Osuakoma then with MTN, now with Airtel Tigo. And it was empty. No furniture, no paper, not a pen, nothing. Just an empty building with lots of keys to doors. And I thought, okay, so where the H do I start? Well, I had to start from somewhere, so I got myself a PA. And I found a PA who could multitask, who could do accounting, who was disciplined, and we started working together to set the place up. And we developed a governance structure. In the process, of course, made contact with certain key people. One of the most important of them, Hannah Agbozu, who became my go-to person. Pick up the phone and call Hannah. Hannah, what do I do? Hannah, what does this mean? Hannah, what is next? Hannah was wonderful. Thank you, Hannah. I also consulted other similar institutions such as the Chamber of Mines, spoke with Ms. Joyce IE, because the Chamber of Mines was established in 1928. So I thought this is a good place to go. What can I learn from them? And I did learn a lot. And through that, we put together a governance structure and also established a secretariat eventually of 5, which is being maintained to today. And in fact, even developed the logo, which, the logo up there, that encompasses the spectrum, because mobile network operators are very finicky about their colors, and you don't want to go pick a color that excludes another. So I thought, okay, why not the spectrum? And of course, the spectrum is also symbolic of the industry in which we operate. So adopt the spectrum, and then developed a tagline, empowering people, simpacting lives. Now, of course, there was work, real work to be done. And one of the things that I remember Thomas Atigo, was it Ishan, said to me was that one of the most important KPIs you must work on, everybody wants you to deliver on, is the business operating permits charged by the local authorities. These permits were unfair, discriminatory, horrendous, arbitrary, exorbitant, and the numbers were eloquent. They spoke for themselves. And so we had to deal with this. It was hurting the businesses. It was unpredictable what we were going to do the next year from the figures from this year, and by how much we're going to increase it, and what relationship it had to the economy, or in fact to other similar industries. But working together as an industry with the regulator, then chaired by Mr. Kofi Tutubikwachi and Mr. Van Persie, Power Van Persie as Director General, Mr. Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo as Minister for Local Government, using the consulting services of Mr. Kwame Ahoy, a framework was developed, a formula reached, acceptable to most, and which has guided the industry and the assemblies up until now. Of course, there are problems every now and then, but by and large, the crises that the industry faced, especially in the approach to Christmas towards the end of the year, when the local authorities want to meet their targets, that we fundamentally dealt with. So we worked across the aisle. Over the years, we tackled other problems. We helped to bring clarity to the application of communication service tax. We were instrumental as a chamber, as an industry, in developing key provisions in the investment laws, when about 4 or so years ago, the GIPC Act was being reviewed, and some of the provisions that were being thrown in there were, in all likelihood, going to be harmful to the telecom industry. And we worked together with the Ministry of Trade, with the relevant select committees to ensure that the right provisions were put in to protect the industry and ensure that the growth of the telecom industry was safeguarded. As a chamber, as an industry, we influenced the ITU and got one of our own to be vice chair of the ITU's got the vice chair position of the Quality of Service Development Group of the ITU T for Africa. And by the way, this person, this vice chair of the ITU T group, is a Ghanaian woman. And there's a thing also with this industry about women. It's loads of really smart women, a few men, but really smart women. Later, of course, we got the tower companies to join us, ATC,